Hey you guys, Lady T here from Romance Review TV. Got another recap for you guys. Love Island USA Season 4 Episode 32. We went from extreme sadness to, I guess, extreme excitement for some, I guess. And then we got this whole crazy BDE challenge that was going on, and a lot of other little fillers in between throughout this episode. So we'll talk about it and unpack all of it. But before we do, we got to take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel to receive all updates. And please, you guys, don't forget to like and share. So, as we remember from the previous episode, it was that whole episode about the public tweeting. And of course, the biggest thing of episode 31 was that whole tweet about Isaiah and this comparison with Phoebe and Sydney and natural beauty. Now, if you haven't seen that video that I did yesterday, that I pulled up the proof from episode 21 about the fact that whether he was comparing it or not, go check that out. I'll link it in this video. So now we're in this particular episode, and she is still not happy, of course, because from what she thinks or what has happened, it looks like she doesn't like the fact that she was being compared, especially physically. And she's hurting. And at this point, we're at the part of this episode where she was like, she don't know if she can move on from this. And of course, he don't even remember, but he is taking accountability for whatever was done, what was said. And, you know, at this point, it looked like it was no hope for these two at this moment, especially when it comes to Sydney, because she was very deeply wounded. Now, I checked social media, and a lot of people didn't think he was actually comparing the two. All he said was natural beauty, not that her beauty looks better than her beauty and all of that. So I just think maybe it was the interpretation of the tweeter, but like I said, that all is in that other video I did yesterday. But in this moment, they hugged it out, but at this point, she is not happy with him. However, she is pleased that, you know, he apologized, which, you know, he said, I want to take accountability for this. So then we had a separate conversation about the same issue when it came to Zeta talking to Timmy, you know, about what happened in Casa, and he really didn't say much. I don't know if he just wanted to stay out of it, or we just didn't get to hear everything he had to say. But the fact that, you know, he did say, you know, I don't think he really meant it. He's only 21. This is his first go round. You know, he's got to learn. He can't say things like that. And the fact that, you know, Timmy was open and able to have this conversation, that was a great thing for Zeta, because she's liking the fact that she can actually talk to him about different things. So now, speaking of tweets, we still got this other couple who kind of got hit from left field from the whole tweet challenge, and that was Deb and Jesse. And Jesse wanted to make sure that Deb wasn't feeling some kind of way either about calling, you know, the tweeters, calling their relationship fake. And she was like, no, I know what we have. It don't matter what somebody else think about what's going on. We know what our relationship is like. And so he wanted to make sure that she wasn't feeling like, well, there some merit to this? And I was wondering why he was second guessing it and she was solid. But, you know, maybe it was just a situation where he just wanted to know where she stood and how she felt. And he claimed to feel that, you know, we're good. You know, we're in a solid place and nobody's going to take that from us. And as they said, the haters are going to hate. So now up on the terrace, we got Phoebe and Chad, and these two are talking about the fact how they can pretty much, and I'm trying to think the word that they use, but I'm going to use one that's close to it, maybe eviscerate each other, and meaning that they can challenge and outdo the other. Now, she is in school for pre-law. And so she, you know, he was asking where you want to go to school. And she said that she wanted to go to some Ivy League schools. He asked for a GPA. She got a 4.0. But she's feeling the fact that they can actually connect on a lot of these things. Now, do I think she's 100% into Chad? I don't know. So now they turn it in for the night. And one thing that was interesting, because as much as Sydney said she didn't want to sleep by herself, she did not sleep by herself. She ended up sleeping with Zay. And so he goes into this whole little private conversation about how the way he feels about Sydney. He never felt that before, even before his ex. He never felt this way before. And so he was crying. And so, I just hope he was genuine in this moment. And it seemed like he was, from the way it sounds. I don't want to, project or anything like that. But he said he really do. He really had deep feelings for her. And that, this is something that he's never felt before. And she was here for it. Now, do I think it's flipped the switch in her as of yet? Not at this point. So, we're the next morning. It is also Mackenzie's birthday. Happy birthday, Mackenzie. And so she got up bright and early the next morning to get her thoughts together and enjoy the day. So then we had a conversation happening between Isaiah and Jeff. And, he's talking about, hey, I did what we talked about last night. I took accountability and we had that conversation. And a lot of people wasn't happy of Jeff after hearing what happened in episode 22, because they were saying he was pushing Zay into that whole thing with Phoebe. So then there's another conversation going on with Sydney and Zeta. And, Zeta is like, look, I don't think the boy meant it, And she was like, yeah, but how many times we got to go through this, and that hurt, and he keep hurting me, and blah, blah, blah. I think you need to verify the validity of the tweet first, because she took that in stone. I kind of wish she kind of took that like Sydney, like, I know what I am. I know how I look. I know he think I'm beautiful. He came back to me. But she took that to heart. She reminds me of Tasha from Love Island UK. If you guys watch that series, you'll know what I'm talking about. Tasha was a crier, and she was always worried about what everybody else think. So now we're down to this other conversation with Naja and Jeff. And she was giving him another Spanish lesson. And he's treading along pretty good with the Spanish lesson. But they went in talking about life after the island, and him going back to Cincinnati because that's where he lives. And she was like, well, I'm going to miss you because I usually wake up every day next to you and you're not going to be around. And, he's like, oh, no. That we're not going to be apart for too long. I'm going to give you my last name. He wants to marry Naja. I just hope that she is 110% in as he is, because he love him some Naja. So now we're back to the conversation with Isaiah and Sydney. And, Sydney says she had a pretty good night. She liked the fact that he apologized. And she talked about how emotional, he got. And how he said how he never felt this way even before his ex. And so, she seems like she's melting toward him again. And, they're holding each other, hugging it out. It's growing pains with these two. I know a lot of people we got two sides to this thing. But, yeah, they only been in the villa a month. So now there's a text message about this whole crazy challenge with them taking clay. Now, the girls have to, of course, shape what they think the BDE is looking like on their guy, if they have the BDE. So then we had this whole crazy thing because the boys had to do it too. And why did Jesse say that he would be okay with sucking his own? And people like, you would do that? Yeah, if I could, I would. I'm like, okay, Jesse. So now they had to compare the work to see if it matched. And whoever was closest were the winners. And so it looked like when it came to Chad and Mackenzie, who are still coupled up, even though he's talking to Phoebe, wasn't a match. This whole thing with, of course, Jesse and Deb is like, why don't you quit playing? And then Timmy Swerve had his swerve. And she was like, that's what it looked like? And then when he stretched it out, this is when we see Zeta pass out. I guess when you stretch the length out, maybe it was too much for her to bear in her mind. Then we had Joel and Phoebe, and theirs were pretty darn close. Theirs looked the same height, the same girth, and everything. I thought sure they would be the winners, but we're not done yet. And then, of course, we also had Nadja and Jeff. Now, the thing is that they were also pretty close and spot on with what they both created as well. And then last but not least, they were pretty close as well, which was Sydney and Isaiah. Now, at this point, again, they seem like they're in a good place. But the winners were Jeff and Nadja. And the interesting thing about this is that Nadja said that she had already seen it. So at this point, she knew what to create because he gave her a preview. So now we have a conversation that Isaiah, Timmy, and Jesse is having because Isaiah got some plans. And he needs their help to put this whole thing together because he officially wants to ask Sydney to be his girlfriend. And so they were all excited. Look like they got a lot of support in the villa. You know, in previous seasons and other franchises, usually people are taking sides when something like this happens. But not this season. So then we even have Isaiah recruiting Zeta for help to kind of stall Sydney and everything. And then this old crazy secret knock that they had, and they could not get it together until I guess they came up with a happy solution. But in the meantime, he was preparing the dinner and everything. And I thought it was sweet. You know, I'm hoping he's putting in work. I got to give it to him, you know, but I'm going to let this play out. And let me know when you know what you guys think. And I'll be back. Because, you know, with these montages, yeah. not only did he say, I love you, but he also made it exclusive by asking Sydney to be his girlfriend. And she said yes. So she called herself, I think, Mrs. Zay. But yeah, she went from about to kick him to the curb. Now, she didn't say I love you back, so I got to mention that. But he was like, you know what? No pressure. You don't have to tell me. This is how I feel. So there was no expectations there either. But at this point, they are official. They dropped the L word. And this couple reminds me of Ekansu and Davide, because I'm wondering if they're going to be the contenders, because they had the most struggles and overcome them. We again can't forget about and leave Mackenzie out. Her birthday was yesterday. So they also, in this episode. So they also celebrated that as well. Okay, guys, so there you have it. Let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What did you think about that crazy challenge? And do you think that maybe Sydney should have held off a little bit longer with trying to reconcile with Isaiah? Or do you think that they're on the right path and can be a little bit stronger on the outside? This is definitely a test, because they're going to run into a lot outside of the villa. So hopefully this is something that can make them stronger at this point. And hey, it's their decision at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Also hit that like button. It lets YouTube know that you are enjoying the actual episode or video and wanted to spread it out to other people as well. So until the next one, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.